So often in my life I would long for how the golden lures of the future would change me and heal me, bringing my relief from self-imposed suffering. Yet after each conquest, after each success, when I had acclimated to the new now, the new way of being that I had created, I was faced with new dissatisfactions. The atmosphere of these new states of beingness, after the acclimation to the new now, seemed to be determined by a few constants. How much I allowed myself to be present in the now, how much I allowed my past experiences to color my perceptions of the now, and the general allowance I gave myself to enjoy and be happy in the now. The now can be a frightening place. In the raw jet stream of complete surrender to the illogical logic, the vast and endless nothingness and everythingness which it embodies. The now is where all of our power is, but mostly, if we stay in it long enough, we realize that the flighty and ephemeral mind cannot seem to sustain within it, nor comprehend the vastness and power of its presence, and the limitlessness of its duration. Perhaps the mind becomes weary, or lacks interest in times when being in the now means that time is unoccupied by adventure or excitement. Perhaps it is tempted by the illusory gold held by the future, or is bound tightly to traumas of the past. In any way that it leaves the now, it seems that we are like whales in the sea, coming up for air once in a while when needed, and then retreating to our watery depths. Perhaps, overwhelmed, the mind may flee to substances, thought habits, and other distractions that pinch it off from the powerful flow of the now. Perhaps it is not strong enough, courageous enough, or selfless enough to maintain its place in the flow. Enter the heart. What I'm trying to convey, I suppose, is that the more we practice holding our place in the now, the more we practice staying as long as we can in it, the deeper our roots may grow through the perceived sorrows, and the more power, courage, and clarity we may find. Remembering, of course, that without mercy and compassion, the sharp mind and strong will become dangerous weapons that are wielded intentionally, or even unintentionally. For the creeping death that silently stalks the soul, who constantly harms intentionally, and who is already weak from disconnection, draws slowly the remaining life from the offender until it opens that final door for the soul to enter its next incarnation of horrid, bittersweet retribution. We are not alone in this now. We are all in it together, and in it we are all one. The old modalities of thought that once shielded us from a wild and savage world are but empty husks that are blown away by the winds of change, mere memories kept alive through appealing to and condemning us to our lower minds and sexual natures. The understimulation of our hearts and higher minds shackle us to suffering and allow it to maintain its claws in our backs as we are pinned to the ground and our minds drift elsewhere as our blood and life runs away. One spends many lifetimes in the now, the endless moment that cannot be measured or tracked. How present one is in the now may vary from life to life. It is not linear or cyclical. It just is vague and indescribable. To realize that we are all one, that fear, hatred, anger, and lower emotions are but instinctive first layers of a thought process that has infinite layers which can consist of patience, understanding, sympathy, compassion, mercy, and so on. The more layers of clarity that we add to a lower thought form, the greater the realization of the need for the virtues. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants kindness and friendship, truth and mercy, compassion and laughter. Our childhood traumas did not take these away, nor did anything else, for we have been the ones with the choices. No matter what, it was our choice to cling to feelings of abandonment and neglect. Choices that were obviously not made consciously, but when present in the glaring truth of the now, it is obvious that no one else can choose for anyone else, nor impose upon others that which they choose to have no part in. Because free will affords us all the choice to build our lives and shape our destiny, We take our knocks, that which we did to others, painfully backlashes, even lifetimes later, to reveal that karma does not forget. And so we learn and grow and step up and reclaim our power, back from the blame and shame game. For nothing that came before this moment matters in any way, for we are already now what we are now. This endless moment is all we really have to express our soul's truth in. The moment from the previous sentence has already passed and gone. Not even the moment of reading this sentence will last. The endless moment of the now is all that matters, and so it goes on endlessly. Only what we hold in our hearts now has any meaning. And only universal, all-encompassing love has ever made any difference. All else has been but cruel subjectivism, enforced by those who seek the gold that can only be found in practicing the virtues, and so remain eternally destitute. And finally, but most importantly, hope is held for every soul, and all may be redeemed in whatever manner is appropriate for their soul development, but it comes from within, not from without. May your self-awareness allow you to see the perfection that is inherent within you, and may self-forgiveness wash you clean of any misperceptions and error thoughts that separate you from your truth and bliss. You are loved.